It seems like you've made so many different transitions from, project coordinator to facility manager or maintenance manager to supervisor to asset management. What has the transition been like each time you make this jump into a different role?
So it's a learning experience. It's a learning curve. One of the things that you'll find though is that some fundamentals don't change. So the principles of maintenance management, the principles of asset management, the principles of reliability don't change, even though the organizations are changing and the assets are changing. So it's been some learnings were very easy to transition to organizations. Some organizations and some industries were challenging because I learned after about 15 years of working that a lot of industries are quite insular. Because they're insular, they talk to consultants and hire out of the same industry, and as a result of that, the learnings in one industry does not transfer seamlessly to the other industry. So cement industry, I'm pretty familiar with that, is quite insular, but so is power industry that I've worked in. So we might be making gains in pharmaceutical, for example. We might be making gains in another side of the business, in another industry, pardon me, but it doesn't transfer to wastewater treatment plants. It
Mhm.
doesn't transfer to cement plants.
Why is that? Is that just because, each industry is so different from one another, or is there just not that communication line?
That's interesting because asset intensive organizations we're capital intensive, we're energy intensive, and so the life cycles are quite long for these assets. Along with that comes a culture of you put down the assets, they stay for 30 years. The people around them also tend to stay. Well, that was until you guys marched in the millennials and changed everything for us. But usually the people around them tend to stay, and there is a lot of internal promotion, which is a good thing to grow your own timber, but there's a lot of internal promotion. But one of the things that it does is that it sometimes locks out the ability to transfer ideas and transfer gains and wins that another industry is making. So a
Mhm.
lot of it has to do with the just the simple fact that the assets don't turn over as quickly. There is
Yeah.
a long a kind of a long time for investments to be paid back, and the assets, the life cycles are long, and because of that, things get set in place a little bit in asset intensive organizations. In addition to that, because the assets are complex, they're more complex than probably in your average commercial setup.
Hmm.
Then there is a fair level of specialization,
Yeah.
which comes with the setting up of functional departments. And so we have functional departments. We have a team for mechanical. We have an electrical team. We have sometimes an instrument and automation team. Engineering is separate. Supply chain is separate. Finance, etc. And you could go on. And so, in order to facilitate all of these functional roles, silos were naturally created. And it's not a bad thing to have the silos. What we need are interactive business processes that allow information and gains and wins to flow across the organization. So if organizations don't spend time and pay attention to their business processes, even within one single company, you could set up a lot of insularity.
Yeah. That's a really interesting point. Just the fact that, assets live on for very long. And I think what you're seeing in technology is the rate of adoption and change is happening so fast versus having physical assets. That change just will never be as fast as changing a digital product. So very, very interesting point that you bring up, Suzanne.